Hello guys, and welcome back to Learning Feed the Beast, and today we're looking at Applied Energistics, hopefully as much of it as we can fit in one episode. So, there's no lie, I haven't been playing FTV the last couple of weeks, bit of a writer's block, not really knowing what to do, and haven't been enjoying it as much, but I'm prepared to come back now and play some more. So I'm looking very closely at the likes, the views and the comments and everything else on this video to see how much more of it I want to do or not. So it's really dependent on you guys. Just a fair warning with that. So I've gone and spent a good few hours reading up again on Applied Energistics and setting up a whole load of stuff for you to show. So if we just go up here, if my jetpack actually works, there we are. I've already set up a whole load of things already and been playing around with some stuff as well. So I'm going to go through each part of it as I go. I'm going to explain how it works, why it works, and then we're going to go through and add it to the system. So the first thing is the Emmy Chest, and you have to go through the different materials to make them. You have to make some basic process assemblies, you have to cook that and get these, and then we go through and make some conversion matrices, and then we go into some Emmy chests. Now these are like regular chests, but they're a bit special. So if you look inside them, you can't access them at the moment, so they don't have any power. But if we then hooked up some power from down here, then it would work. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so I've added some power to these chests, and I actually put another one down here as well. So let's go have a look at this. So nothing has changed in this at all. That's because we need some storage disks to go into it. At the moment it's just an empty container, nothing actually to store it in. So on here we've got little storage disks. They come in 1K, 16K, 64K and a 4K. Tells you how many total items you can fit into them, and they vary in cost. No, the 64K is the most expensive. You can make it different ways. Anyway, over here I've gone and set up some stuff for that. So I've gone through, and the 64Ks which I've made are very expensive, and I've been doing a lot of drilling on the tunnel board to actually get all this stuff. So I've got 5 of them here. So if we go over here and put one in, you can see that it now becomes an inventory, and you can put stuff into it, just like so, and it will start loading up bytes used and types used. So the types are how many different types of items you can fit into this. So whereas a barrel you can fit 1 type, each one of these disks can fit up to 63 types, and the bytes aren't actually items. If you look on this, it's 2070 there. If you take out that coal, it goes down about 500, so they're not exactly representative of what's going in, so it's a bit weird there. So we're going to look at this. If you put more in, it starts to stack up. Now obviously you can keep putting items in until you fill up the total bytes used, the amount of memory it takes. After that you can fit no more in, but you can also pre-format these so that only certain types of items come into this. So if you're making this into a sorting system and the items come through, then you can make it so that only certain types of things go into this. So you can have maybe 1 type of this, so maybe this can be all smooth stone, but you can max out the whole storage just on that 1 item, instead of having lots of things going in here, which is quite good. And the good thing about this is you can take it out and you can move it somewhere else, and the items are still there. They're stored on the disk itself, not in the chest. The chest is just a way of accessing it, really, you can think of that. And these do take power to keep running. Also they take power to store items in them. So yeah, that's a cool little thing to have. Now we can start moving on to the next thing. And the next thing I have, we're looking at Preformatter. So I haven't got one of these yet, so I'll make one. Okay, here we are. 1 Preformatter. Now these are what we're going to be doing to program what can be stored onto these disks. Now I believe I can put this anywhere. Yep. So I put this one in, and we'll call it dirt and cobble. There we are, and we'll put that one and that one in. So on this we're going to then do format. So on this it's pre-formatted, and at the moment it's saying nothing at all. Now these items are ghost items, they don't actually show at all. They're just going what's in it, and you can also clear it on the disk. So put this into here. It's pre-formatted for dirt and cobble. Now I can't put any of these in, but I can put cobble in and I can put dirt in. So it's going 2 out of 63 types. I can still only put 2 types in this, as I formatted it as 2 only, but it can use up to the maximum of just dirt and cobble. So you can sort things out or do it like that. It's a nice way of storing it, just like so. There we are. So on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing, in any system you need one of these. This is an Emmy Controller. This is going to do all the energy for system. Emmy should be matter energy or something like that. I'm going to put it next to this conduit here. Start to fill up with power. It's going to tell you what you've got in the system as well, and how many energy units are being used from everything connected to it. Now, to move things around, we can use ME cables, just like normal power cables for other things. Go into other machines, maybe go to another chest here. We'll put in this item, and we see that there is stone in there. Now, look on here, we've got 3 power units for that bit there. It's also looking at this as it's connected through, so you can access that as well. So it's saying 3 of them, 3 cables, like so, and the energy units go up in time. Now, I won't quote the exact conversions between EU, MJ and all that for these energy units being used. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure you can find out quite easily. So, that's going to be able to connect to all sorts of things. Now, to make this ME cable, you have to go first of all and make some quartz fiber, just like that. Now with this, it's a bit weird because you can go and make one of these, which I've got over here. This is a mixer, and this is made with the whole charging, just like you used to make this. Now, weirdly, there's a recipe for doing like this, so you see it goes up, and there's also a shapeless crafting recipe doing it like this. So there's different ways of making it. This one makes no sense, I guess, if you're looking at that, because you can just do it in your inventory, just like so. And no, I don't know why it's there, but it's there. So there you go. So if we go over here, we can just sit there and connect them together. Now, power can go through anything as long as it's attached in the end to your Emmy controller. Now you can only have one Emmy controller on any one AE system. So let's go along here, you can go onto another chest, put another storage thing in there, and you can see that it's got power. So they can go through anything, and that's a very important thing to have, and keeping track of the energy used in this. So let's look at the next thing. Okay, so we've got some items in our chests. No, that's all well and good, they look good. No, we used up some bytes. That's cool enough, but let's be even more lazy. So let's go look at the next item. The next item is the access terminal. Now we can dump this again, just connect to the system somehow. Now you can look into this and you can see all the items which are in the system. You can sort them by priority, by number, by name. You can search them. That's all really cool. And if you shift click with a wrench onto one of these, you can give a chest a priority. So maybe when it gets taken from or not, or everything else. So that's very cool. But let's get even more lazy. So if we go over here and we get a wireless receiver and we use it on a access terminal, we can make a wireless access terminal remote. We also get some wireless access points, and we'll just say connect this wireless access point somewhere. We'll just connect it there. That's attached to the system now, and we'll look into this, and I believe, no, it's into here maybe. There we are. So this is now linked to the system. Now if we go into this, we can now see what the items are. We can take stuff out of it, and I think we can put it in. Yep. If I stop searching for the stuff, yep. Take it out, put it back in. That's very, very cool. Now it's only got a small range for this. If we can see it there. We can't see it there anymore. So the next thing is to upgrade this, and this is where this bit comes in. I believe over here I have some stuff ready for this. Okay, so you need wireless boosters. So if I grab some more crystals, as I have some left, we're going to here, dump that in there, mix with these. Now these, you can only use up to 16 in one of these terminals. So there we are, only put 16 in, and that gives you one extra space per one booster. So you can use this up to 32 blocks away from this now. So previously I couldn't do it from here, but now I can. So you can go a little bit further, but then not there. And I don't believe if you use up more than these, I don't think it will give you anything extra. We would put them in. We go back over here. Nope. So it only works for one of them, it seems. So no, it's limited. But if you've got something or want to dump something into it, it's a nice way to do it. Okay, next we're going to step up a bit. So we've got some items already in storage, but if you want mass storage, this is the way to go. These are ME drives. They're pretty cheap, and all we're going to do here is destroy all these chests, go to that, pick up those drives, and then we're just going to attach a couple of these into here. Now these got a nice interface. You can just dump your different drives in. You can see that they're in the slots anywhere you want them. The color codes are representative of if there's room in them and everything else. But that works very well. Now in this, we can still see what the items are. We can still take them in, take them out, everything else. Now that's really cool. But let's do something even more fun. So over here, one of these I had, you make some Emmy level emitters. Now this goes to one of these, a storage monitor. And it's quite cool. You can put it down, and we'll just put it down there, like so, and then you can just hit it, and you can pick an item, so you can see what's in it, and it will tell you how many of the items in the system. So if we look at this and we say, no, let's get some sand out that, we know that there is, how many sands are in there actually, let's have a look. There is 128, tap it there, and it says 128. No, that's okay. Now, what we can do is you can just get your wrench, you can just shift click it, and it's locked, so any item you tap on it won't change it, just how it is. So you're going to have a nice display of how many of something there is in it. It'll stay like that, so maybe redstone from witch farm or something like that, wherever you want. Let's just unlock it again. Okay, so we've got these conversion matrices which we made earlier when we were making the actual chests. Now all you can do is you can get one of them and you can shift click it onto that. You can see that it's got a little tiny bit around the edge now again, and the same sort of thing, you can tap it, you can see what's in there and everything else. Okay, so not really any difference so far with this upgrade, but then if you go ahead and lock it, you can then actually get that item out. So if you unlock it and say sand, so there's 128 in it, and we'll lock it. Now we can just punch that with a right hand click and we can get that item out. Can't put it back in though, put it back in here. And then it's got 128, and you can punch it again if you want to, and you can take it all. It's just a way of getting items out, but you can only do it with that one item when it's not locked, or when it is locked. So they are. Now it's unlocked, you can not really do anything else. You can punch it off, another item on, and so on. So it's a way to access one type of material, I guess, really quickly. So you can have one of these set up somewhere, maybe for a farm or something like that, and you can just punch it, get some items, and run away. Nice way of doing it, I guess. So, on to the next part. Okay, so we've played around with some storing items, now let's do something with them. So, let's see how we can actually attach this to our initial system. So we've got all these barrels everywhere, how can we actually make use of them? So let's go over here and pick up some stuff. So we've got some import buses, then we've got some export buses, and we've also got some storage buses. Let's grab them. Go over to here, I've got a barrel set up with my coal in, put a storage bus on that, then we'll attach this system with some cables, that'll be okay. Now if you look into this, we can now see that charcoal. Now let's take that out. Now there's less in there, 3 stacks there, take it out again, 2 stacks, so you can interact with it, and we can put it back as well. That will go in. Very, very cool. So you can interact with all your initial things from other mods. It worked very well. Same with chests. So next thing I want to do is play around with the furnace. So anything you want to do, you can attach things to them, IC2 and everything else. So let's put down a furnace here, so it has some power inside of it. Now we want to play with this. So all of these import and export buses we'll be using for lots of things. So the export bus takes things out of this system and puts it somewhere else. So to put something into something else, you need an export bus. To move things from here into the system, we need the import bus, like so. And you can just wrench them around if they're in the wrong place, but that's, yeah, like that. And we want to go in, and we just connect this up to finish. So at the moment, there's nothing happening at all. In the export bus, this is what you're exporting from the system. So in here, we've got some sand, and dump some more sand in there as well. Should I take 1? Yep. And then here we're going to say move this in here, and it's always active and it's moving single items. So actually from here one piece of sand's coming in every tick or every second or so. It's coming in and being processed. Now glass is staying here. Now what to do in the import bus is importing glass from this into there. You can see it's going to go out into there when it wants to go. Okay, weirdly I need to set it as this setting, so it goes out. Very strange, don't know why, didn't know that was how you meant to do it, but there you go, that can go in and come back. So in the system now we've got some glass building up, that's quite cool. So you can do it with any item you want. You can have it in this so that certain items come through or not, depending on how you want it. So that's quite cool. So we can interact with barrels, we can interact with furnaces and things, we can interact with other machines, move them around, and they come to here. Now we need to look at order crafting. So, be right back. Okay, time for crafting then. This is really the strongest power of this mod. We've got an Emmy crafting terminal here. So if we go over here, we'll just dump it here. Now we can see everything inside, same as the normal terminal. But on this we can just take items out and we can just craft them with a nice little inventory here. And we can keep taking items from them, and you'll see that it's going down in here as well. So you can use whatever you want from a massive amount of entities and items in your storage. That's a cool thing, but we're a bit lazy, so we want to automate that. So let's go look at things over here. So we're going to go make a big, nice assembler. So we're going to go through and get these components. Got some crafting CPUs, then we got some pattern providers, and we'll just make a nice structure. So for these, they've got to be, all corners have got to be these. So let's make a big enough one. Now you can make these any size, it says on the wiki, but we're just going to do a 5x5 one. So I'll be right back. So the outside has to be all assembler containment walls like this. Doesn't matter how big you make it. The smallest one you can make is 3x3 in total. And then for the walls you have to use heat vents. So it's going to do same sort of thing again and just fill in these gaps on every single side. Okay, so we've got a nice outside already, and we will fill in this bit as well. But inside of it you need to have at least one pattern provider, and then you have some crafting CPUs to make it go faster. So we're just going to fill this up, and let's do a whole load of them. I'm not going to be too exact, but the CPUs make it craft faster, and I believe the pattern providers allow you to store more patterns in total. So we'll just go for, that'd be okay. We'll fill this up then, if I've got enough heat vents. Oh, we're back, and there we are. So let's finish this up, and when it gets finished, it turns like that. Very cool. Now right click on this, we can see that these are how many actual blocks of the pattern providers are in there. So we've got 9 pages. So there's 9 different pattern providers, can hold a lot of patterns in here. Now we don't know what patterns are yet, but we'll connect this up to the system. It's like so. And here, see that the energy usage has gone up by almost double. So it wasn't about 35, now it's 62. Bigger you go, the more energy it needs. So what we can do with this, now what are patterns? So we go over here, and we've got, in this one, we've got blank patterns. So we get some of them, and we've got, don't need that one quite yet. We've got pattern encoders, now only one of these probably. So we go over here, and I don't believe you need power for this either. Okay, so we put in a pattern here. Oh, we only want one, there we are. So we need an item to craft, so you've got to teach it every single thing you want. So we'll go for the bread example. We go into here, and we'll say that, we'll put in a blank pattern, and we're saying code. Now this is bread, that's quite cool. Now we'll go ahead and put it in here. Now if you shift, then you can see what item is actually going to make. So from that we can go over here, and we've got some bread in here. Now it says craft. There's no bread in the system. If there was, it comes up with there. No bread at all now. You can press craft, and you can say how many you want. We'll say 10, begin, and there's already 10, because there's quite a big load of processing in this thing, so it will make them very, very quickly. Now that's going to cost you energy on this every single time you make something. So there's a cost whenever you take things from everything, bring them back, process them, craft them. So it does kind of build up after a while. This is already using quite a lot, I guess, and then you make it bigger, it goes even more. So it's quite a nice cool thing to do. You can encode whatever you want here, especially if you want to maybe make, I don't know, let's see, can this work? We go smooth stone in this, I always click E, so we want to make process. Now let me think about this and I'll be right back. Now I remember. So in this, when you put anything in it, it'll first of all show you the crafting recipe. So if you put this in here, it will say that this is the crafting recipe for that. Same way as you put a piece of cobble in there, it will do the same for everything else if there was anything. Now if you put something in here and you overwrite it and you put a pattern in, you can then encode that. So this will say crafts 1 stone with the cobblestone. Now this, if I put it into here, will not work the same. As you can see in here, it's not actually a craft, it's a process. So it doesn't work in there because you can't sit there and craft cobble into stone straight away. But you can use it with one of these, so just take that off and we get an ME interface. Put this into here. Now if you go into here, we take out all this smooth stone, just go for that. Oh, there we are. And now we have a crafting display for this as well. So we'll just say 64, begin, and now that'll send items into this. It should do anyway. My bad. There was no cobblestone system. So I'll just put some in and it now works. So there we are. Very simple thing around that. I thought I really messed up there somewhere. So just put that in there. In it goes, and now it will start smelting them. It comes through. Very, very good. And it will return them back into here. So now we've got some patterns, we can do some things with it. Now let's finish this off with a few extra bits. Okay, so auto crafting, storing, you can mix it with barrels and things like that, that's cool. With the storage bus, you can look at an inventory without taking things in or out. Then you get the import to take things from something, the export to give it to. You got these to give things in and out. Same thing if you put items in here, it will put them out or give them back in, that sort of thing. Now to mix it with the existing system, I want to play with tesseracts. Now tesseracts I can't actually get to go straight into one of these import buses, so I've done it next to a chest and set the import bus to go to stacks, so it should be able to keep up with anything I put through. So what I'm going to do is just show you how this works. So looking here at the moment, we know that stuff up to here. And I've got some items in my inventory which go through to the mass storage. And I've got to remove the tesseract down here and moved it up to there, into that chest. So let's put some of these random things in here that I store, just like so. And we'll see in a few seconds that it will come into here. There you are. Some more stuff go in, and obviously I can keep building things up. So it starts to use up all these bytes in here. So I've got this one is pre-formatted. You can see that's the orange one on the display. There we are. So what you want to do if you want to start moving things back and forth. So we've got this MEIO port. So I'm just going to put this here. And then what I'm going to do is you can either move things from a disk into storage or from storage into a disk. So let's bring out my, let's say this one. We've got some items in this. If we want to move it somewhere else, we put it in here. Now this will move items from it to it. So we're going to go from disk to network. So they are, it empties that and it's set to move it to here when it's empty. Or we can move it here and say move it that way. So it just took all the items from this completely. Now it's all gone, we can only craft stuff, and from this we can't craft it because there's none of the initial items in the system. So let's put it back, and so we're setting this back the other way. In it goes. Very good. And in here we've got it all in the first one, apart from the pre-formatted, which got some other bits. So it's a nice way to give things in and out of a system and move it around. That's very cool. So I'm going to match this up to the rest of my system now, throw in the items from down here, and then we'll take a look for the end of the video. Okay, all the deep storage has been moved from down here to up here. I moved some of the bigger ones though just as deep storage units as they are, and added in the buses just to see the inventories. So if I take some there, there's like 70,000 something in there. You see that's 72,000, there you are. Very, very cool. And then also for bringing stuff in the system, where we have the tesseract coming in, with these import buses, they're on stacks. Now 2 of them move items in from inventory faster than 1. which is quite nice. So when I was just doing 1, it wasn't quite keeping up with the stuff coming in. So 2 was just right. Very good. Also on this, it's orange when the types that it can fit in are full. So this one top left is now got 63 out of 63 types. Now this one has 2 out of 63 and it's orange as well. That's because it can only fit 2 types in it as it's pre-formatted. There we are. Hopefully that clears that bit up. Now I've added in a whole load more recipes. As you can see, a whole load more things in here. So if you look in here, we've got all these items stored, loads and loads of them. We can look at the craftable ones. I've got a whole load of them I can do. Now let's go look at something interesting. So maybe the quartz fiber. Now we know the quartz fiber needs the glass and also the quartz. But if there's no glass in this, so we take all of these out. There's quite a lot of in actually. Oh, there we are. Now there's no glass in this at all. But there is some sand in here somewhere. And there they are. And in here I've got it so that you can make glass with sand. So if I try and make some in here, at the moment there are none of the quartz fibers. If I sit there and say, let's say 64, let's go see if this is going to make any. So there's none there at the moment, and this cooking sand so far. So anything you do, no matter how complex it is, if you've got everything taught in here and in here at some point of the process, then it will find your end result no matter what. So you can see this going up to 5 now. I'll wait for that to go up. They are 4 here now. So it makes it as it goes, and it keeps making them till it gets up the final product. So you don't need to do tons of complicated crafting for things, as long as you taught it every single step. I don't think there is any of these actually. Oh, yes there is. Very cool. So go in there, get 64, only 28, that's the maximum it gets. If I put more items now, then it will sit there and finish them. Now this is crafter, and I can do other things here as well. And I didn't really go over one of these materials in here which I can craft, which is the Emmy level emitter. But I don't tell you everything, I'm going to leave some things for you to find out yourself. So that's quite a nice overview and episode of AE. So do remember to like if you have enjoyed this, so I'll do more. And suggest more things that you want me to do on this series. Nice fun things please. So, thank you very much for joining me guys, and I'll see you next time.